Good afternoon on what is a warm, bright, and sunny day. It is Sunday, April the 14th, and I'm in the reading up with a nice cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I'm going to put up here is a copy of Samurai Goths of the Apocalypse. This is published by Unite the Realm, and it goes something like this. So, quick, it's the Apocalypse. Grab the dice. Wait, what? Dice? You're Goths with samurai swords in an apocalyptic world. Unlikely heroes fighting back an ever-encroaching, ever-hungry evil known as the Gloom. It's an unwinnable war, but maybe you'll just win enough battles to keep yourself and your friends from being consumed into its endless ranks. Maybe. So, let's have a look inside. Okay, so we've got the credits page. And a table of contents, and it's definitely fairly heavy on the Gothic motifs. So we've even got a crow or a raven. Very simple description of the setting there, and essentially it's a gonzo survival horror meets over-the-top samurai action movie where all the protagonists are variations of Wednesday Addams and Peter Steele. So they're all facing this invisible supernatural force, all-consuming insatiable nature, which has corrupted much of the wastelands surrounding the Goth home of Black Lantern. And essentially where what the player characters have to do, the Samurai Goths, is live and fight for the night. So, essentially, the Gloom was born in the darkness of night, but you are Goths, nocturnal creatures, and you are adopted in the night long ago. Both the Goths and creatures of the Gloom are daylight sensitive. Yeah, okay. And I kind of get the joke there, since I know people who are Goths. My partner is a Goth. But the thing is, Goth culture is much more accepted these days, more widely accepted, and it's not looked down upon as much as it once was. I mean, that's one of the things about sort of like the 21st century. People tend to be far more accepting of different subcultures, including the Goths. So, getting started, things you'll need to play, the preparation needed as well. And then we get into the consume D6, the mechanics, basics, game mechanics. How do I play? The Gloom Weaver, the game master doesn't roll any dice, only the players do. And then essentially you roll dice. You're rolling 1 to 3 is a failure, 4, 5, 6 success. Simple as that, and that's it. And then really you are into combat fairly quickly, because essentially in Samurai Goths, the Apocalypse, you are fighting off a miserable, gloomy, supernatural evil. You're going to want to get your swords out and start fighting. So we have to deal with initiative, and you have action points, which is basically going to be action economy, about what you're going to be able to do. And essentially, the whole thing, the thing is that you can earn feathers. Feathers are what you are, essentially feathers are equal to level. You earn more feathers, you go up in level, and that's why they're on the front cover. They're important. And then dealing with things like willpower, health, steady for your will, corrupting, facing corruption, consumption, presumably by the Gloom. A table here of possible corruptions, Gloomagons, the corruption within. When you're out of willpower, you take a Gloomagon, roll on this table to see which delightful mutation you develop. They give you a nifty ability, but don't get too excited. The Gloom has its grasp on you now. So think of the Gloom as the equivalent of Chaos in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, or Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory. And here we have a sort of like section on Meet the Goths. So we have a Corporate Goth, Sober Goth, the Gothabilly. Yes, they're all types. We've even got the Pastel Goth and even the Romantic Goth. The Romantic Goth is sort of like, is more what you think is a traditional kind of goth, I would suggest. Although we do actually have the traditional goth and a Western goth. What you don't have is as if the old Dork Tower comic strip joke goes, you don't have any spanky goths in here. It's not that kind of game. But anyway, so how to create your goth dynasties. You've got rules here for character creation. So think of your goth dynasty as sort of like your vampire strains, lineages in Vampire the Masquerade or something like that. Then we've got basically a list of all the samurai weapons you might take. So starting off the katana and dachi, so swords, shuriken, tanto for your daggers, tessen for your war fan, yari for spear, yumi for bow, and so on. And we've got them listed there. That's a little bit short in terms of your weapon choice. There are a few more that could have been quite fun. There's no chain weapons and then there's no hammers. But having made all of these choices, then you actually get on to applying the stats and choosing talents and equipment. And there are rules here for guidance for character development through play, because then you're not always aware of what your character is going to be like until you start bringing them into play. And the other interesting thing I always kind of like about that when you're playing is that you have some idea what your character is like, but then something will happen. You make a dice roll, and whether it doesn't matter whether you fail or you succeed, you discover, oh my god, there's something else about my character I didn't know. So now we move on to the Gloomweaver section, the section for the referee or game master. Gloomweaver making monsters, so essentially rolling those up. So a couple of tables for that, 2 or 3 tables for that, before we move on to Gloomweaver mission prompts. It's things to do during the apocalypse. It's a cruel post-apocalyptic world out there, but someone has to do the shopping. So some ideas of what missions you can throw at the players and their characters. And here we have some pre-gen monsters. So we've got the Danger Louse, the Tawna Crow, and the Brutus. The Abominable Goth and the Eyelasher. Of course you've got an Eyelasher. No eyeliner, but you've got an Eyelasher. The Big Bad Bug, and what gnarly and then it's asked the question, what gnarly abilities could you give this corrupted beauty? And then the last section there with your crow or raven and basically your dice show of your your katana, and then you've got a quick comment from the author at the end there. So that is Samurai Goths of the Apocalypse. Somewhere I've got some character sheets for it somewhere, but I think that's a lot of fun. I think that's sort of the kind of thing you pick up and play, sort of like as the occasional session, kind of fun thing. Simple thing, because you're just rolling handfuls of 6-sided dice to undertake actions and to be, slash away at things with swords, cut away the gloom, stab it, bash it, whatever. And hold back the ennui, as it were. So yeah, and that's different enough, I think, and that's what I love about role-playing games. Essentially, you are always surprised by the genres and the subject matters that people create for their games. So that's Samurai Goths of the Apocalypse. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and the look. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be able to get more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game or a little role-playing game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook, and we'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.